In the heart of the American South, where the air is thick with the scent of magnolia and the hum of cicadas, there lies a land both blessed and bruised. Red dirt roads carve their way through fields of cotton and wild grass, winding past wooden shacks and whitewashed churches where the faithful gather every Sunday, dressed in their best hearts, heavy with hope and history. This is a place where gospel choirs raise the roof, where the holy and the haunted walk side by side, and where, if you listen close enough, you can hear the whispers of the ancestors carried on the wind here in a county forgotten by progress, but not by pain, stands a sanctuary First Deliverance Tabernacle, a place of refuge for the weary and the wounded. Its pews are scarred with years of prayer, its altar stained with tears and sweat. The congregation is small but steadfast, led by a man whose own soul bears the weight of loss and longing. Reverend Solomon Creed. Solomon Creed was not always a preacher. Once he was a hunter of men, a profiler for the Federal Bureau of Investigation, specializing in the twisted labyrinths of cults and the minds that built them. He had seen darkness, real, unyielding darkness, and it had cost him dearly. His wife Lena had been his anchor, his light in the storm. But when she died under mysterious circumstances, Solomon walked away from the world he knew, seeking solace in the Word of God and the humble rhythms of rural life he preaches now to the broken-hearted, to those the world has cast aside. His sermons are not fiery, but they are honest. He knows what it means to doubt, to rage against the heavens, to beg for answers in the silence of the night. The people trust him not because he is perfect, but because he is real. But even in this quiet corner of Texas, the world cannot keep its secrets for long. News travels fast, carried on the lips of the faithful and the desperate. And the name on everyone's tongue is prophetess Kendra May. Kendra May is a revelation. She sweeps into town like a summer storm. Her revivals drawing thousands black folk from every walk of life, hungry for miracles, for healing, for a glimpse of the divine. She is beautiful, radiant, her voice a balm in a blade. She wears white robes that shimmer in the candlelight, her hair crowned in braids adorned with cowrie shells and gold. When she lays hands on the sick, they rise. When she speaks, the lost find their way on television. She is a vision of hope, her laughter bright as sunlight on water. But beneath the surface, something else stirs in the hush of midnight when the cameras shut off and the crowds disperse. Kendra May sheds her human skin. She slips into the river, her form shifting scales glinting in the moonlight. She is more than a prophet. She is the last of the black tide, a bloodline forged in an ancient covenant with the Sea Queen, a primordial spirit who dwells in the deep, hungry for souls. The faithful do not see the truth. They see only the miracles, the signs and wonders, the promise of deliverance. But some, like Solomon Creed, know that not all power comes from God. The story begins on a sweltering Saturday in June. The town is buzzing with anticipation. Kendra May's revival is coming to the old fairgrounds, and everyone who can walk or crawl is making their way there. Solomon's niece, Tasha, is among them, a bright, restless teenager with dreams bigger than her small-town life. She has been drifting, lately drawn to the promise of something more, something transcendent, Solomon worries. But he knows better than to stand in the way of faith. That night, Tasha doesn't come home. Solomon's world narrows to a single point of pain. He searches first with reason, then with desperation. The police are slow to act. Black girls go missing all the time and the world keeps turning. But Solomon is not a man to be deterred. He knows how to read signs, to follow trails left in the shadows. He returns to the fairgrounds, to the place where the music and the miracles once rang out. He finds nothing. No blood, no struggle, only the lingering scent of river water and the faint echo of a hymn. He begins to dig, to ask questions. The more he learns, the more the lines between faith and fear blur. He hears stories, whispers of people changed by Kendra May, of dreams haunted by serpents, and water of miracles that come at a price. He sees the way the town bends around her, how even the hardest hearts soften in her presence. She is both beloved and feared, a goddess in human form. Solomon's investigation leads him to the river, a wide, slow-moving stretch of water that cuts through the town like a scar. At night he stands on its banks, listening to the frogs and the wind, feeling the pull of something ancient and cold. He remembers his training, the cases he worked, the cults that promised salvation but delivered only suffering. He remembers the look in Lina's eyes the night she died, the fear and the longing. He is not alone in his search. Others have lost loved ones. Women, children, men drawn to Kendra May's revivals and never seen again. They gather in secret, sharing their stories, their grief. Solomon becomes their leader, their voice. He is careful, cautious. He knows that to confront Kendra May is to court danger not just from her, but from the power she wields, the faith she commands. But Solomon is driven by more than duty. He is haunted by guilt, by the cases he could not solve, the lives he could not save. He sees in Tasha a chance for redemption, a way to make amends for the past. He is willing to risk everything, his life, his soul, to bring her home. Kendra May, for her part, is aware of Solomon's investigation. She watches him from afar, amused and intrigued. She recognizes in him a kindred spirit, a soul marked by pain, by loss, by the hunger for something greater. She is not afraid. She is faced worse than Solomon Creed at night. She returns to the river, slipping beneath its surface, her body transforming, her eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. She communes with the Sea Queen, offering up the spiritual energy she has harvested from her flock. The Sea Queen is ancient, beautiful, and terrible, a being of water and shadow, her voice, a song that drowns out all reason. Kendra May's power grows with each revival, each soul surrendered. She is torn between two worlds, the human and the divine, the sacred and the profane. She remembers her childhood, the lessons passed down from her grandmother, the stories of the black tide of the covenant that binds her bloodline to the sea. She knows that her power is both a gift and a curse, that every miracle comes at a cost. But she is tired of hiding, of pretending. She longs to be free, to break the chains of the covenant, to claim her own destiny. She sees in Solomon a challenge, a threat, but also a possibility. She wonders what it would be like to be seen, truly seen, by someone who does not worship or fear her. Their paths converge on a stormy night, the sky split by lightning, the river swollen with rain. Solomon confronts Kendra May in her sanctuary. the air thick with incense and the sound of gospel music. He demands the truth about Tasha, about the missing, about the power she serves. Kendra. May smiles, her eyes sad, and knowing she tells him of the Sea Queen, of the covenant, of the price of power. She offers him a choice: join her share in her power or stand against her and be destroyed. Solomon is tempted. He sees the pain in Kendra May's eyes, the burden she carries. He remembers his own darkness, the compromises he has made. He wonders if redemption is possible, if there is a way to save not just Tasha, but Kendra May and himself. The final confrontation is not a battle of fists or guns, but of wills of souls. Solomon calls upon his faith, his ancestors, the memory of Lena. He prays not for victory, but for deliverance, for Tasha, for Kendra May. For himself, the Sea Queen rises from the river, her form vast and terrible, her voice a chorus of drowned souls. She demands tribute, threatens to consume all. Kendra May stands between her and Solomon, torn by loyalty and longing in a moment of clarity. She rejects the covenant, choosing her own fate over the Sea Queen's demands. The river erupts. The sanctuary shatters, the congregation flees, screaming as water floods the altar, washing away the trappings of power and pretense. Solomon and Kendra May stand together, united by pain and hope. In the aftermath, the town is changed, the river recedes, the missing are found, some alive, some not. Kendra May disappears, her fate unknown. Solomon returns to his church, his faith renewed but tempered by sorrow. He is a man remade, his soul scarred but whole. The story of the serpent in the sanctuary becomes legend, a warning and a promise. It is a tale of power and pain, of faith and fear, of the eternal struggle between light and darkness. It is a story rooted in the blood and bone of the Black South, in the songs of the ancestors, in the hope that even in the deepest night dawn will come. But the river remembers, the Sea Queen waits, and somewhere in the hush of midnight, a woman in white walks the water's edge, her eyes fixed on the horizon, her heart beating with the promise of freedom in the days that follow. Solomon Creed finds himself changed in ways he cannot fully understand. The church is quieter now, the congregation smaller, but the faith is deeper, more honest. The people look to him not just as a preacher, but as a witness. Someone who has walked through fire and come out the other side. He visits the river, often standing on its banks, watching the water flow. He thinks of Tasha, of the others who were lost and found. He thinks of Kendra May, of the choices she made, the burdens she bore. He wonders if she found peace, if she is free at last. The town is healing slowly, the wounds are deep, but the people are resilient. They sing new songs, now songs of survival, of hope, of deliverance. The gospel choir still raise their voices, but there is a new note, a deeper understanding of the cost of faith. Solomon writes letters to the families of the missing offering, what comfort he can. He visits the sick, the lonely, the forgotten. He listens more than he speaks, knowing that sometimes the greatest gift is to bear witness to another's pain. He dreams often of water, of serpents, of a woman in white. He wakes with a sense of both fear and longing, unsure of what the future holds, but he is not afraid. He knows that the darkness is real, but so is the light in time. The legend of the serpent in the sanctuary spreads beyond the town. People come from far and wide, seeking answers, seeking hope. Some come to gawk, others to pray. Solomon greets them all, offering what wisdom he has, what comfort he can. He is no longer the man he once was, the hunter, the avenger. He is something new, something forged in the crucible of pain and faith. He is a man who has seen the face of evil and chosen to stand against it. He is a man who knows that redemption is possible, even for the most broken among us. The story ends as all stories do with a beginning. The river flows on the sun rises, the choir sings. And somewhere in the heart of the South, a man stands in the doorway of a humble church, his eyes fixed on the horizon, his heart beating with the promise of a new day. But the river remembers, the sea queen waits, and the story of the serpent in the sanctuary lives on a warning, a promise, a testament to the power of faith, the danger of unchecked power, and the enduring hope of redemption in the quiet moments when the world is still. Solomon hears the voices of the ancestors singing songs of deliverance, of freedom, of love. He knows that the battle is never truly over, that the darkness will always return. But he also knows that he is not alone, that the light is stronger, that hope endures, and so he walks on one foot in the world of the living, one in the realm of the spirit, a bridge between the two, a witness to the power of faith, the danger of temptation, and the unbreakable bond of love. The story of the serpent in the sanctuary is not just a tale of good and evil, of saints and sinners. It is a story of people flawed, broken, beautiful people struggling to find their way in a world that is both cruel and kind. It is a story of faith, not blind but earned, forged in the fires of suffering and loss. It is a story of power, the power to heal, to harm, to choose. It is a story of redemption, the belief that no matter how far we fall, we can always rise again. And in the end, it is a story of hope, a hope that endures, that survives, that shines even in the darkest night. For in the heart of the South, where the red dirt roads wind, and the gospel choir sing, the river flows, on carrying with it the memory of all that has been, and the promise of all that is yet to